Okay, time now is 2:01 p.m. and yeah, on Feb 7th. Yeah, yeah. So I had a good sleep. I slept from fucking 5:30 to 1:45 ish, but I woke up twice in the middle. So I set an alarm at 11:30 because because I wanted to know if it's okay for the ITA to meet me in person, like on weekend or like next week. If not, then I have to have a Zoom meeting with him at 12:30, and I don't want to do that. I want to be asleep. And then so I was like back and forth emailing him yesterday, and I'm just waiting for him to send me an email to basically confirm that he can meet me next week or something, you know. And if he denies it, then I have to continue being awake. If he confirms it, then I can wash my hands and go back to bed. So that's the plan. I randomly woke up at around 10:30 and I thought it's 11:30. I woke up and I looked at my phone and I'm like, shit, it's only 10:30. So I went back to sleep again and then I woke up again. And then it took me a while to fall back asleep. In fact, it took me a while to fall asleep at 5:30 a.m. I don't know why. Anyways, my sleep schedule is fucked. But I'm happy I'm able to have a full night's sleep. I feel rejuvenated. So a lot is happening actually. I also had a dream, but then once again I forgot. Yesterday or a couple days ago, I also had a dream, and then I just kind of forgot what happened. But yeah, so much is happening now today. First of all, I think I'm gonna do a home all day. There's a possibility that I'll go to Ralph's to buy something. But yeah, that's mostly today. Home all day. But despite being home all day, there's still a bunch of shit I need to do. First of all, I have a religion paper, 800-word paper due at 5 p.m. I think. So right now I'm 3 hours away from due date. I haven't written anything, so I got to speed run that shit. The boss of HKOS wants to call me this afternoon, so I'm gonna do that real quick. I need to finish my script for Remain in Light. It's been 4 fucking days since I have. I was supposed to finish rewriting it 4 days ago, and I kept pushing it again and again and again and again and again, which is fucking crazy. But yeah, it's true. I'm really struggling with writing it, but I think I kind of got it last night at 5 a.m. I sort of looked at my script again, and I'm looking and I'm imagining I'm like trying to act out my script a little bit, act out the scenes to feel if it flows, and I'm like, you know what? It kind of works. It kind of works, but it's very tricky because it's not like a very straightforward story where this happens and then that and this and that. It's a bunch of like random weird scenes sort of loosely stringed together, but I can't think of a better way to write a psychological drama, really. I can't think of a better way to write a psychological drama that doesn't have a lot of backstory. So yeah, I realized that for my 290 script, which by the way, that's priority, for my 290 script, Remain in Light, our professor never taught us how to produce. I know that's not like the most important thing ever because we were never taught that in film 31 and 32, but we were taught that in film 30. The funny thing is, not funny thing. I think for a small production, producing isn't really that big of a deal, but it is still a very useful skill. But we were never taught how to produce, so I'm using my own method. I'm using my own 334 method, which is first three things to do is location scouting, fundraising and casting, and then the other 3 is to make 3 lists, shot lists, budget, schedule. Then the next 4 thing are 4 lists for production, like props, gear, cast and crew, and location lists. But now it's 434 because I also have to deal with permits. But yeah, I also went to the group chat between me, Audrey S, and Tina, my trio, and I basically told everyone, hey, I'm filming next weekend. I can't film this weekend. And Tina's like, no, I'm filming next weekend because I'm in group B. And I'm like, okay, then go ahead. I'll use my own equipment anyways. My only loss is that I don't have the nice tripod. But I don't really think I'll be needing that tripod that much. A lot of shots I have will be full of motion. So, yeah. And I have a monopod with me. So, I think that kind of works too. Even though clanky. But the gear shouldn't be an issue. I think most of the world is not enough. I could be wrong though. Maybe. No. The world is not enough is a tripod. I didn't use a monopod that much. Aside from the scenes where I film myself. So it's possible. But yeah. So yeah, 290 script is of high priority. Another high priority is the Cannes Film Festival application, which is due fucking tonight. But I'm like 1/3 done with Persona review. I'm gonna rewatch Persona today, and I'm gonna write the cover letter. And I kind of already have an idea on what to write for the cover letter. I'm feeling okay. I'm not super confident about my writing skills for like movie reviews. I think last night I spent some time reading other people's reviews at the USC Cannes Classics website. And by other people, I mean Matt, Min, John L, Ben K, people I've met and seen before. And their writing is great. Ben K is not that great of a writer, but there's like a genuine passion for film that oozes out of his language. And then I read Matt's. Matt's reviews are fucking unbeatable. Like, he's the best reviewer out of the whole crew. It's crazy. The language he uses, the allegories, just like the way he processes the film and turns it into something in his framework is just like masterful. Matt is fucking scary, He really is. So yeah. And then on top of that, I need to watch Redbeard because I don't want to waste my Criterion channel free trial. So I'm gonna do that, and I'm also gonna watch Squid Game if I have the time. So yeah, there's a lot going on. What else is going on? What else? I may call Retablo. Christian R may have a Zoom meeting with me over the budget for Pit. And about Jayun, I honestly last night and then today after I had a one night's sleep, I feel less angry about her. I'll probably say yes to the PD job. Because the thing is, it's 4 days only. 4 days is a lot. But here's the thing. I don't have to show up every day. Jiayun told me I don't have to show up every day. So I'm not going to show up every day. Some days I'm just going to sleep in. Also, it's 4 days, and spring break is 7 days to me. Including the weekend. Actually, 10 days. So I do have time to travel if I want to. If I want to go to San Francisco, like a 2-day trip to San Francisco, I can. Like, no one's stopping me. Or if my friend wants to just hang out, find a day to hang out, I can. No one's stopping me. Another thing is, while I really, I'm a bit upset at Jayun still, because obviously, who wouldn't? She's a child. I hate saying this word, but in some respects, I'm more mature than her. She doesn't have the same sensibility. She doesn't have the same sensibility with human beings as I do. And by that I mean, I'm aware if I, I would be aware if I ruin a relationship. I would be very aware. I don't think Jayun is as aware as I am. B, it's that ultimately I'll get to know her more on that set. Even if I'm like not pursuing her anymore, whatever, at least I can find some kind of closure to. We had a very good conversation, we had a very good thing going, and I feel like there should be an end to it. Like, I almost knew her and then I don't. Maybe I should take this opportunity. So yeah, we'll see. But I'm gonna have to talk with Christian R and see how much pit is gonna consume me, and then figure out if I should do Jayun's one. But right now I'm leaning on yes. And then other miscellaneous stuff. I'm gonna buy the Anime Expo tickets. I'm gonna go to Amazon and buy a bunch of boxes and stuff to clean up my room. Also, the Pulse 4K Blu-ray is coming on the 12th, which is, I believe, 5 days later, like next Wednesday, I think. So yeah, looking forward to that. Really, really looking forward to that. And then not much else. Not much else. I'm gonna have toast and peanut butter and banana for breakfast. Gotta finish those bananas before they turn super ripe. Lunch, no fucking idea. I actually have no idea. Oh my god. I don't want to do sandwich again because I'm eating bread. Dumplings maybe? Shoot, I have zero clue actually. I should go to Ralph's first and then buy food there and then come back and have lunch then. Huh. I'll whip out something. Or, I'll do omelet. I'll do omelet with. Yeah, I'll do eggs. I had eggs yesterday already. It's fine. I'll do omelet, cheese, salami, and call it a day. And then I'll do. Then I'll have a big dinner, I suppose. Then my dinner would be. Am I running out of meat too? Please don't tell me I'm running out of meat. Huh. Dinner I'll do the ground beef thing. Right? Or something if I go to Ralph's. I should go to Ralph's actually.
And then followed by like fizz, like it fizzes a bit,
As it's going down.
or like
Shit. Ugh, yuck. Oakley dokley, time now is 12:27 after midnight, and I am starving to death because I haven't eaten any food. But just want to say, holy cow, I just submitted my Cannes Film Festival application 1 minute, en minute, or 2 minutes before midnight. Holy shit, putain, merde. That was stressful. I could feel my body heating up and me getting stressed. When you're stressed, you feel like your brain is turning into a fuzz. You know, it feels like static. Like you actually start to like heat up. But yeah, wow, what a fucking day. I had to be productive today. I had to be very productive. I woke up 3 separate times, as I've told, and I I fuck, my brain is a mess. I first thing first, from about 1:40 p.m. to 5 p.m. No, from about 2 p.m. to 5 p.m. I speed ran my religion class essay, because for my religion class we have to submit a closed reading essay draft by 5 p.m. By 5 p.m. And I submitted it literally the minute before as well, I think, before the deadline. Or was it a couple minutes before? It was very close. But yeah, I was speed running it, and it was supposed to be an 800-word essay, and I wrote over 900 words. I'm just extra like that. I'm already running out of time, but I'm still somehow able to like write more than I'm required to. But yeah, brainstorming the thesis statement and the outline took an hour, and then writing the rest took an hour. Just speed writing. I'm so good at speed writing these days. I can just pump things out of my mind like a pumping machine. Yeah. Um and then at 5 p.m. I immediately called the HKOS boss, K. So K was like having dinner or something, or like taking care of her children or something. But we had a 6-minute phone call, super short. She's like, "Okay, so give me your answer." And I was like, awkwardly, I was like, yeah, I'm thinking, I'll take it, yeah. And she's like, "Okay, so here's what we're gonna do. We're thinking maybe we could make the film festival like very long, so maybe the festival can span across May, June, July, August, and September, because why not? Because we're a relatively new festival and we don't have to follow rules. We can break rules and stuff." And I'm like, "Okay, that's cool." And she just keeps talking. The thing with Kay is that she just keeps talking. She doesn't allow me to talk. It's like the opposite of my RIT 340 professor, who keeps waiting for me to say something. But Kay just keeps talking, and yeah. And at some point I was like, okay, so one thing is, in July and August I may go back to Hong Kong. Number two is I'm applying to Cannes Film Festival for mid-May, so there's going to be a period of time where that doesn't happen. So Kay explains why May. And that's because there's a Hong Kong film called The Way We Talk, which is a new film produced by Hong. And apparently, there are like 3 American film festivals they're submitting it to. There's a VC Film Fest, which is LA, which used to be called the Los Angeles Asian Pacific Festival. I submitted to them, and I think I'm gonna get rejected. Number 2 is like this New York festival, and then there's a San Diego festival. So after those festivals, first thing it's gonna do is gonna freaking premiere at LA. And because Hong is one of the 2 producers, Hong could just let us, HKOS, I'm part of it now, I guess, screen it first thing first. You know, might as well invite the 2 main actors to come to LA to talk, you know, which is definitely not happening. And, you know, turns out early May is like my finals, so I don't even know. But yeah. But yeah, that's one thing. The other thing is, oh yeah, I was gonna tell Kay about Now Instant, but Kay is like, "Oh, I'm sorry, I'm busy. I need to eat food," and I'm like, "Okay." So next thing you know, like I'm very productive today. So the next thing I did was I actually took a rest. But while taking a rest, I was still writing a little bit for my Persona review. Persona literally right here, right now, and working on my script. And then I had nothing to eat for lunch, so I came up with an omelet with salami and cheese, and then I had 4 curry samosas. I microwaved it for 3 minutes. It turned crispy, which is good. It tasted good, but very salty. And then it was already 7 p.m. So simultaneously, Christian R was texting me. Christian R is like, "Oh, so when are you free to do the budgeting meeting and planning meeting?" And I'm like, I don't know, tonight over Zoom? And he's like, "Yeah, sure, that's good." And I'm like, "Okay, so over Zoom or in person?" And he's like, "Yeah, probably in Troy," which is the dorm building, so in person, basically. And I'm like, "Oh, I don't know if I can come, but I'll try to come anyways." Another thing is, I want to go buy groceries. I want to buy food. So I finished my lunch, and it's already fucking 8 p.m. And I'm like, okay, I'm gonna go buy food first. So I went to Ralph's, and I thought to myself, if anything, I could just put my food in Christian's fridge, because why not? So I went to Ralph's, bought a bunch of shit, bought a 5 pork chop packet thing, which is just absolutely ball sacks insane. Never done that before, but it's only $10 with a card. Without card is 17. The guy who picked me up to go to Ralph's is this really talkative guy. Oh no, the guy who picked me up from Ralph's to Troy, very talkative guy. He's very glowingly, outwardly gay, fashionably gay, which is great for him. And apparently he's like trying to be an influencer, and he's like filming videos, and he's like talking to another girl, and we had a conversation, and it's nice. And he's like, "Oh, I'm an artist too. I do music, I draw, but it's for myself." And I'm like, "Yeah, that's cool." And in my head, I'm thinking, wow, like 5 years ago when I'm in Hong Kong, I fantasize about situations like this where people just speak English to me and I respond in perfect English and we perfectly understand each other and it's a normal situation and it's a normal conversation. It's like, it's weird. It really is. But anyways, I arrived at Troy, and when the Lyft dropped me off, I saw Christian letting another girl into the apartment building, and they walked away. And I'm like, it's them. So I left the car and I speed walked. Another guy opened the main door, coincidentally, conveniently, and I entered the building and I followed their voice. I followed Christian R's voice into the back tunnels, and I finally caught up. This girl is a Korean girl. Her name is Alice Kim. If it's a Korean person, I can say their last names, because especially if they're Kim and Park. It's like there are 50,000 Alice Kims in the world, and there are 50,000 Alexis Parks in the world. Or is it Alice Park and Alexis Kim? Fuck. When you're both artsy Korean girls and your first name, your given name starts with an A, it's like, I'm sorry, what? We went upstairs not upstairs, we went to Christian's apartment, Christian's room. And it's nice and cozy. And the other Korean girl is waiting there. Her name is Alexis. Alexis is the other one. Alexis is the one who studies at Yovin and Young Academy, which, like, what the hell is that? Apparently it's an academy at USC for, like, entrepreneurs, but, like, then what do? Apparently she's, like, an art person. She makes arts and craft. How does that... Then why aren't you in Roski? The other Korean girl is at Roski. Anyways, there's a huge block of foam and a giant bucket, not giant, it's a regular sized bucket, and a bunch of, like, tools and stuff. And Christian's like, so I slept for less than 2 hours, so this is the plan for the pit. And then he got, like, chemicals, like methyl cellulose and black food coloring, and he's like, okay, I'm gonna do some science experiment later, and then there's like a blowtorch to melt coins, and it's like, oh, wow, there's a lot of information. And originally I was just gonna like come here, say hi, and then dip, but I ended up staying for the entire duration of the meeting because of course that shit happens all the time. And yeah, it was nice. We got along, and everyone are introverts, so everyone's just like, yeah. Um, and Christian R is collecting furniture and trash and empty soda cans so that the graphic designer could make like beer can graphics on the cans. Um, and then I talked about organization and priority and stuff, and I sound kind of funny, but I keep saying it. I was like, oh, so that's priority one, that's priority two, and Alexis finds that funny. But yeah, and then tomorrow we're doing location scouting, but Alice wouldn't be there. Kim, I think. And yeah, so it's like 9:30, and I'm like, bro, I have an application in 2.5 hours. So we all left, and yeah, cool beans. Came back home at 10, and I'm like, I don't have any fucking time. I need to finish my persona review and my cover letter. So, holy balls. That was rushed. That was a rush. And I even spent like 10 minutes-ish to watch the persona. Oh, I forgot to mention that before leaving to Ralph's, I finished my script. I speed wrote it again. But like I already had the outline, so I didn't really need to think too much whenever I write from scene to scene, which is the ideal thing. If you write a scene and you're like, fuck, what happens next? And then you write another scene and you're like, what happens next? It's not good because it's clunky. You have the outline, the whole thing is in your head, write it out. That's all that matters, is that the whole thing, the whole flow is in your head. So I pumped it out. It worked. My script works. It's actually okay. It's not the best, but it's the best I can do. And I immediately turned it into script form with Faden. I immediately sent it to Vivian. Vivian just now read it, and she's like, wow, so fun, ! Which is great, because I wrote some pretty crazy shit. Like, Vivian is gonna swear in 4 or 5 different languages, and she's gonna, like, find herself in different makeup, and she's gonna get slapped, and it's, like, weird as fuck, but... So I'm not sure if she'll like it or not. She may read it and go, okay, this guy needs to see a therapist. But I realized this, and that is the coolest thing to do to an actor is to give them a crazy role, because they get to go crazy, and that's fun, right? And I like writing crazy characters, and, it just works. So I hope it's fun for her. And also realize this, I've made 8 short films, and none of them are about someone going crazy. The closest is Dreams of an Empty Street, but it wasn't really that crazy. There's also the mom character in Objects in Mirror. Yeah. So yeah, I hope this works out. So yeah, that's pretty much it. I don't have a lot else to add. I'm starving, honestly. Yeah, I did the Persona review, and I in my head I'm like, okay, at 11:20 I need to finish writing this review and start working on the cover letter. And even after the cover letter, I still need to go to my laptop. I write my review on my phone. I write the best on my phone. I don't write on my laptop at all. I need to go to my laptop, copy and paste everything from the Google Doc to a Word document, and then go to the Google form for the Cannes Film Festival application and submit it. And that's going to take a little bit of time too. And if I leave only 5 minutes for myself to do all that shit, I'm going to freak out. Which is actually what happened, but I didn't freak out. So yeah, I didn't even start writing the cover letter until 11:40, but I wrote it really fast. I don't even know what's the format. I just looked Google cover letter format, wrote my name, dear, the name of the person, and like a bunch of stuff. Oh, I love film festivals. I love traveling. I love learning different languages. I do film production. I minor in religion because I'm multifaceted. Whatever. Fuck that shit. Sincerely. And then at the end, I need to be humble about it. I need to be. Oh, I'm excited to go to see different films and interview people, interview like-minded cinephiles and filmmakers. And then sincerely, Enoch Lai. Boom. And then I had it. And then I had about 5 minutes to copy everything. I had about 8 minutes to copy everything into a doc and then italize all the film titles and then cover letter, and then I even had a little time to type more words into the cover letter. And then I submitted it and it was 11:58. Holy shit. And the good thing is I'm not mad about this. I remember like CTCS 191 exam last year, I was really upset because I feel like my writing isn't up to par and I was freaking out because I'm running out of time. That didn't happen. I am satisfied with my Persona review, and as it turns out, it's even freaking longer than my Uncle Boomy review. It's over 1,800 words, and it has 11,000 characters, even though the application suggested 3,000 to 9,000 characters. I'm so insane. And I don't think this is gonna like deduct points or anything. As long as the writing is good, it's fine. The thing is, I could have written more. If I had 1 more hour, I could have written more paragraphs in my Persona review because there's so much to talk about. But I just didn't. But yeah, that just goes to show how amazing this film is. It's 83 minutes long, and so much can be said about it. It's actually an insane film. Absolutely insane. Holy moly. But yeah, that's pretty much it. Kay from HKOS told me that there's going to be a Zoom meeting on Sunday. Am I hallucinating? Is there a moth in this room right now? A Zoom meeting on Sunday night at 8 p.m. I think I'm gonna go and say hi. She told me I don't have to, but I wanna. But then Christian R is like, oh, let's have a meeting on Sunday night. And I'm like, okay. We'll see. Yeah. Wow, I'm gonna go make rice. I'm gonna heat up the ground beef and I'm not gonna change. In fact, I'm gonna bring the dinner over here and eat it. I'm not even, yeah. What else? I think I'll say yes to Jaehyun's thing, but I don't want to give myself more workload. I think I'll go insane if I do that. And I still want to help out on a 310 and an MFA. Maybe I shouldn't. Maybe I shan't. A 310 though, launch order isn't satisfying enough. I met Robert Zemeckis because of it, but it's still not enough. I want to go through the whole process, you know? Oh well. Okay, time now is 12:51 afternoon. On Feb 8th, I slept from 5:45 a.m. to I think around 11:30, and then I stayed on my bed until like 12:30. Yeah, it's crazy. I'm living in a situation where waking up at 12:30 is still not enough sleep for me. But yeah, yesterday was productive, even though I didn't edit anything at all. I did edit my video essay just for like 2 seconds. But it was productive because I finished the script, I finished this, I finished that. And it was good, you know. Got a lot of things off my to-do list. So now I have more to focus on. I'm only going to give myself more tasks to do. But yeah, I couldn't finish Red Beard, as you can probably expect. 3-hour long film. After dinner, it was already like 2:30 a.m. If I watch Red Beard, then it would be 5:30 a.m. So I only got to watch the first hour. I don't think I have the time to watch the second and third hour later, honestly, before leaving. So later, at around 2:30, I'm gonna be leaving. I'm gonna go to Troy again to meet up with Christian R and Alexis Park, and then we will be doing some location scouting, and which is gonna be cool. And afterwards, I'm gonna see if I could get the driver, whoever's driving us, to drop me off at West Hollywood, so that I could go to Braindead Studios to directly watch Children of Men, and then I'll call a lift home, unfortunately. If I could take a bus and then call a lift, I would. And then maybe somewhere in the middle, I would buy a meal, because I would be hungry as fuck. And then tonight, I would eat shrimp. But yeah, I really need to start doing the pre-production for Remain in Light. I have less than a week to do it, honestly. Today's Saturday, so yeah, less than a week. Yeah. Yeah, I don't know what else to say. I don't know what else to say. Not a lot else to say. I want to film an album, film review. Yeah. Still haven't bought the tickets to Anime Expo. And I don't know. I really want to go to Cannes. I really want to go to Cannes. Yeah. I do need to bear in mind that there's a chance they'll reject me. After all the effort I put in to writing the reviews. But it's, yeah, it is what it is. That's cool.
This C-stand isn't assembled correctly.
Wait, is someone filming here now?
Yeah. The sandbag's on the wrong side of them.
Bro, they got the light out here. The fucking Nan light. Bro, careful. What the? How am I supposed to? Bruh.
Yeah.
Hey. Hey. Nice to meet you.
You guys close the door behind you. There, out of the doorway, please. Gotcha. Thank you. Thank you.
Well, it's definitely a shitty basement.
Oh, very.
And camera speeds.
Oh my god, it's a head scratcher.
Yeah.
Do you want to use it?
I don't know. Maybe.
Yeah. whole squad. And I'm gonna have some like dudes from that back hallway. We'll black out the window right here. Forgot.
Yeah.
Sure. I'm willing to accept anything at this point. Lights.
I like these pipes too.
Yeah.
Really good.
I'm still kind of more on board for 65.
But I want to fly tripod.
And we can play this both on the day. We can just try.
Wait, I might meet you guys out there. I haven't taken pictures of like this
Oh yeah,
stuff
yeah.
and this stuff. Just for
There's a mirror too.
This is really fucked up. What are these? Oh, Optimus Prime.
Yeah.
Yo, we got Chinese books. We got Chinese books in here. That's crazy.
Oh, we have hangers too. Oh wait, can
Ooh, what is this? Oh, this is a bathroom. It's a functioning bathroom too. Sheesh. Okay.
Keep going, keep going. Well, let's just disable the. Because the haze, we're gonna use haze too, so you're right.
Okay. Great. Fucking traffic. I'm 11 minutes late. How do I cross the road? How do I cross it?
Look out! Go. We're gonna make it. Come on, we're gonna make it.
Oh. Time now is 10:39 p.m. I just came back home. And I'm gonna go downstairs and make dinner now. Just gonna recap today. Woke up, watched like maybe 10 minutes of Redbeard or 20 minutes. And then I had a carrot cake muffin and a cup of hot chocolate, which is still here, by the way. It's been 13 hours or 11 hours and it's still here. And then, yeah, and then I filmed my Universal Language movie review, which almost ran out of time, so I didn't sit in the review seat. I just used my old phone. I didn't even charge it. It was at 0%, and I was charging it, and I filmed myself as I was charging it. At around 2:20 p.m. I left, and I went to Troy. And it's not that difficult going there, actually. All I need to do is take bus 38, and then walk a little bit, and then boom, I'm at the place, and I was early. And I waited there, listened to music, and then from a far distance, I saw Alexis, the Korean girl. And then we talked. She waved at me and we talked. And she's like, so what exactly is your major? And like, what do you do? Etc., etc. She's taking Intro to Art Directing now, which is a class I've taken last semester. And fun fact, she and Christian met at the World Building class, which is a class I took 2 semesters ago. So it's all connected. I was like, are you on F1 visa? And she's like, no, I'm from here. And I'm like, oh. Because I hear a little Korean accent from her. And, you know, I would assume, but of course, you know. A little bit later, I found out that she's from Torrance. So that's hilarious. But she does have a Korean accent, though. I do hear a Korean accent from her. And it's very, like, I can tell it's not a Mandarin accent, it's not a Japanese accent. I can tell it's a Korean accent. Anyways, her major is art, business, and tech, which is very vague. It's like related to entrepreneurship, but since freshman, she's been interested in doing like production design instead, but it's too late. She didn't switch majors or anything, I think. Or maybe since junior she was interested, and then she minored in entertainment industry, or started taking some SCA classes. She's taking a class right now about making props, and it's from the theater department, SDA, so that's interesting. So a bit later, Christian joined us, we talked a little, and then a couple minutes later, a car came, and it's Severin, the guy who wrote and will be directing Pit, and the first AD, another white guy who's going to live together. They're both very chill people. They're both very chill film people, film bros. And Christian R. hilariously commented saying that the entire film set is going to be white, but all of PD is going to be Asian. So that's a fun fact. And from all Asians, obviously, it was a little awkward because it turns out I'm the only one who's not from here. Like Christian R is from Minnesota, and Alexis is from Torrance, but one's half Japanese and the other is Korean at the end of the day. Yeah, so it's interesting. It's like Asian American. It's not just a monolith. It's not just you're either Asian or Asian American. There's almost like a spectrum. You can be born in America, but you can be very Asian still and have a non-American accent. You can be born in Asia, but you can sound very fluently American and your culture is super Americanized. Like it's a spectrum, really. But yeah, we were in the car and there we drive. And the car's really hot and crowded, but we talked about film, talked about this, talked about that. And then we arrived at our location, which is at this random ass place called El Sereno. And it's kind of beside Pasadena. It's hella far away. Or not beside Pasadena. I don't know. It's like, can't really pinpoint where exactly it is. I think it's like northeast of Chinatown. And we went into this basement, and yeah, the outside is kind of nice, but the more we go in, the more we're like, wait, is that a C-stand? Wait, what's going on? That's a sandbag, and they're all just left on the ground, like no one's watching them. There's a lens box just out in the open under the sun. Turns out a whole crew is in the basement already filming a music video, which is just hilarious. And we went in and we did location scouting. Like, we didn't even know that a crew will be there filming a music video. So we started scouting the place. I pulled out my measuring tape and I started doing my thing. Suddenly I feel very professional. I pulled out my notebook and a pen and I started drafting like a floor plan. And Alexis pulled out some swatches to match colors on the ground. Christian R took a look around and took a bunch of photos. We're like, I bet the LMU bros are thinking, man, the SC people are bawling. But at the same time, we were talking about the differences between LMU and USC, and LMU is much more free and fun. USC is very award baiting commercial, but USC MFA is like way more professional and chill, and the BFA, they have an attitude, which is like the opposite for LMU. Or actually, LMU BFA has an attitude too, but LMU BFA is very not talented. Is more talented than MFA. Anyways, it's a mess. Yeah, and it was really fast. About half an hour, maybe 45 minutes. We finished scouting the place. We left. We're like, yep. Well, I guess let's just dip. Okay. So, the first AD guy drove us back to Troy Hall, and it's already 5 p.m. and yeah, originally I thought that we're gonna scout the basement and then we're gonna go to the apartment, which is at Alhambra. And then I somehow out of nowhere find food. Maybe I'll just go to a nearby McDonald's and buy something, I don't know. I'll eat up and then I'll ask them to directly drive me to West Hollywood, to Braindead Studios. Oh shit, I need to call Naja, do I? Fuck. And, yeah, so that didn't happen because the scout went by really fast. It was 5 p.m. and the new plan is I'm gonna go home, have lunch, and then immediately leave. The bus ride to Braindead Studio is probably gonna take an hour. So me, Krishnar, Alexis were at outside of Troy Hall, and we had a mini conversation. I talked to Krishnar. I asked for his advice. Like, so a friend is telling me to work on a PD for another project. Like, should I take it? And Krishnar is like, yeah, go ahead. Because if Pit is too much, I'm not sure how much I can prepare. But to be honest, though, after Pit, there's like 2 weeks between that and spring break. So I can prepare PD within those 2 weeks as well. It's not the end of the world. I'm even more so worried about preparing for Smooth Operator. Anyways. So I'm gonna say yes to Jayun. And then I and Alexis, we walked towards USC Village, we talked, and she's really nice. Yeah, it's shocking. She just feels very not Asian American for me. She just feels like a Korean person. But then what do I know? I've only been to Korea for like 5 days. Like, what do I know? So yeah, and then I went to Dulce and I bought a pesto chicken sandwich and I had lunch. I was gonna take that plastic bag of my lunch and just walk back home and eat and then go. But I looked at my phone and I'm like, holy shit. I either go in 8 minutes directly right now, or I go in 48 minutes. But if I go in 48 minutes, I'm going to be late. So I kept refreshing my transit app to see if there's a new route. But literally, I cannot walk back home and eat food. I might as well eat right here, right now. So I went to the village. I went back. I was listening to music. I was going to walk. I think I was even going to cross the road. And then I went back and I'm like, fuck it. I'll just eat it right here, right now. So I ate up the whole meal. I speed ate. I ate super fast. And then I looked at my transit app. There is a perfect route to Braindead Studios, and it involves a dash bus to the metro, a metro, and then transit at Culver City, a bus northward to Melrose Avenue. And thankfully, miraculously, all 3 of these vehicles worked fine, and they were all on time. And I was able to catch all 3 of them. It's just that when I was taking the bus northward to Melrose Avenue, there's a lot of traffic jam, and originally I was supposed to arrive at 7:01 p.m. I ended up arriving at 7:15 p.m. But it's okay because I was right on time. The movie just started. So, what a save. What a freaking save. So I watched Children of Men. It's a fantastic film. Had an experience. And then I thought, you know what? Fuck it. I'm not going to Uber home. I'm going to save some money and take a bus down to Metro, go to the Metro, take the Metro, and then free Lyft back home. So I did that. So yeah, it took a whole hour for me to come back home, but you know what? I'm saving money. My mom the other day called, like in a phone call, she told me, save what you can save. So I'm going to start trying to save money. Meanwhile, I'm buying all these Blu-rays, but you know, I will try to save as much as I can. But yeah, not much else. I really need to. So I've been coming up with a shot list for Remain in Light, and I'm pretty much done actually. I'm pretty much done with coming up with my shot list. And there are like almost 60. There are like 48 shots. After I finish it, I predict my short film is gonna have like 50 something shots. That is a lot. Now, granted, I'm a super fast director, and I can nail, especially with a skeleton crew, I can nail 20 to 30 shots a day. But it's still gonna be tough. It's gonna be a 9-hour, 10-hour day. Plus all the makeup and everything, and the costume changes. It's gonna take a while. So, yeah, who knows? But aside from that, I need to do 2 more things ASAP. One is I need a tube light and a flashing light. And by flashing light, I mean 60-watt NAND light, 60-watt Amaron, 60-watt something. Handheld P-mount battery, vroom, vroom, vroom. And fancy tube light because we're going Wong Kar-wai with this. We're messing with colors. Second of all, I need a dorm location. I'm not filming at my place. I need a dorm. So I need to figure that out. But aside from that, confirm with the main actor, number 3. Number 4, I need to call Naja. That's not related to Remain in Light. Okay, and then tomorrow, Mulholland Drive, Michelle, Justin T, and his friend Jacob. And then afterwards, I may, again, buy a quick lunch. And then I'll have, or go home directly to have lunch. And then I'll be having a Zoom meeting, a quick Zoom meeting with HKOS. And then I'll head over to Christian's place. Or I could just go to Zoom on my phone at Christian's place. Doesn't that solve everything? Yeah, I realized I could do that. So yeah, I have so much going on. Film festival, short film, this film, that film, Cannes Film Festival, just watching films, etc., etc. But it's good. I'm going. I'm getting going, you know. And yeah, I don't have much else to say. It's such a relief that round 5 of the video is over. And now I need to worry about the video essay. But I'm already like 2/3 done with it, I believe. Or at least halfway done with my video essay. Halfway. And because I'm only taking 4 classes this semester, there actually isn't a lot of workload. Most workload is coming from 290. But like religion class for 340, those are really chill. And 192 is really chill as well. So yeah, I'm doing fine. I'm eating some spaghetti, shrimp, and I don't know, some cucumber for salad maybe. Yeah, that's pretty much it. I don't know what to eat for tomorrow. Lunch. No idea. Zero clue. Fuck. Okay, so time now is 11:44 a.m. in the morning on February 9th. I slept from 6:10-ish to 11:40. Yeah. I can't sleep later and later. I didn't do anything last night actually. I just watched Squid Game at 4 a.m. Yeah, and then after Squid Game, I'm like, okay, I need to go to the bathroom. So after that and a shower, it's already 6:10 a.m. So yeah, that really sucked. And I actually got woken up randomly at like 9 a.m. or 10 a.m. when some fucks decided to play Kendrick Lamar on such huge volume downstairs. They're still playing music downstairs. It's so crazy, dude. It's the morning. And I get it, most people should be awake by now. But 9 a.m., 10 a.m., are you fucking kidding me? It's so noisy. I this is one of my biggest pet peeves is like playing music out loud. The world isn't your party. Don't blast music and assume that everyone would be happy because you're blasting music. Fuck. What else did I do last night? I bought my Anime Expo tickets, $163. Quite a heavy sum, huh? But compared to last year I paid $97 just to go one day. This year I'm paying $163, which is not even twice of last year's, and I get to go all 4 days. So, yeah, looking forward. And then yeah, I think that's it. There's just too much going on. I finished my shot list for my short film Remain in Light. I don't think Vivian has even read my script. Vivian's like, oh, it sounds fun. When she said fun, she didn't comment. It wasn't really a comment on the script. It was more like, oh, it sounds fun. But yeah, looking forward still. Yeah, today I'm gonna go see Mulholland Drive at Egyptian Theater, which is great. And then I have a Zoom meeting with HKOS and another meeting with Christian R. So yeah, I'm gonna go through the script and go look at all the necessary furnitures and everything. Yeah. Just I'm just gonna try to do that, really. So absolutely annoying. I'm gonna sleep earlier tonight, though. I still haven't finished Red Beard. Oh, and also I forgot to mention I accidentally paid for 1 month of Criterion Channel. I thought I have to cancel today. Turns out I have to cancel yesterday because my Criterion Channel renewed the moment it turned to February 9th. Because I started it on the 2nd, so I thought, okay, 2 plus 9 is 7. So if I start Criterion Channel at February 2nd nighttime, then maybe my deadline is February 9th nighttime. But I was naive. But instead of like asking for a refund and everything, you know what? I'll just take it. I'll just take 1 month of Criterion Channel and I'll make the best of it, really. So yeah, so on before March 9th, I need to stop my subscription. Yeah, I spent a lot of time last night just going through my spendings just to see how much money I'm spending, because now I'm getting more and more financially conscious again. But yeah, anyhow, I've agreed to do Jayun's PD. I said, yo, I think I'll do it. And of course, Jayun's gonna take 19 business days to respond. But yeah, you know, yeah, 19 business days. But yeah, at least I'm socializing on set. The thing is, I can only socialize with people truly on a film set. Very rarely do I get to socialize with someone off of a film set. Like, think about it. Most of my close friends I have right now are friends because we're on set together at some certain point. Like, Glenn, we were on Anywhere the Wind Blows. And then Christian R, we're on Imperfect Us. Who's a close friend? I don't know who else is a close friend in USC. Equo, because again Seth, but he's gone. Rachel, we're not. I mean, yeah, I think the fact that we're just 2 Hong Kongers made us very close. 2 Hong Kongers that took the same few classes. Yeah. Yeah, nothing else. Yo. Yo. And popcorn. I'm gonna get food.
Eating and then think about I need to use the restroom.
It's a 4 hour.
It's 2 hours.
I'm not moving out of my.
And show nitrate film. We're doing this Nitrate Film Festival. You have the opportunity to watch the act.
Fairy tales. They are not true. They are not real. Everybody who attempts to do reality on cinema will fall sooner or later on flat on his face.
Hey everybody, welcome to the Egyptian Theater. My name is Maggie, I'm a theater coordinator here at the
Por un tiempo volviendo a sonreír. Luego anoche te vi, tu mano me tocó y el saludo de tu voz te hablé muy bien y tú sin saber que llorando, my friend, llorando por tu. We hear it in the mountains and the rivers. We see it dance among the seas and stars, glowing around the moon. But on a starry night, where it all began. Thank you so much for coming to see
You guys might share a puzzle.
Or even the shorts. Why not?
Why?
I know, why not? So, I mean, he asked me. He asked me, and I was like, yes, and he said, okay.
You need to try this. Oh my god. Okay, if you whisk it, there's bubble.
Yep.
But it's air bubble.
Oh shoot. Oh, we're right.
What happened? There's a whole fork in there.
The director asked me to like drop something in.
Oh, and then it comes out of his mouth or something. It's actually a personal story. A bunch of questions of like what we have and what we don't have.
Okay.
Like, as you're going through this?
Okay, time now is 12:33 after midnight. I just took a shower and I'm back at home and holy shit, today's a long day. I technically haven't had dinner, but I'm just gonna skip dinner. I don't care anymore, actually. Yeah. So, yeah, oh my god, what happened today? So today, I woke up and it's so noisy outside. There's this weird deep hum last night or last night. Anyways, fuck, what happened after I woke up? I'm having real memory issues. I went to Target USC. I walked over there and oh yeah, I woke up and I had a stomachache. That's the first thing that happened. And I'm definitely not trying to have a stomachache while watching Mulholland Drive. And then I ate cereal a brownie, some yogurt, and that's it. And then I walked all the way to Target at USC. I saw Justin T and his friend Jacob there, and then Michelle came a couple minutes later. We crossed the road and we entered her car, and that's pretty much it. Yeah, it was a bit awkward at first because none of us know each other. Like, they don't really know Michelle, Michelle don't know them, but everyone got along really well at the end. Yeah, and I asked Michelle to pick us up at 2 p.m. She ended up picking us up at around 2:14, 15-ish, and even though it takes about 25 minutes to drive to Egyptian Theater, in theory, but I know there's going to be traffic, and Michelle's going to be late, and as expected she is, but I was late too. So yeah, there's traffic, and we arrived at the Egyptian Theater at 2:56. Or like somewhere around that time. And the good thing with going to watch the movies with a group of people is that one person can buy food and one person can grab seats first. And so Jacob went to grab 4 empty seats while me, Justin T and Michelle went to buy popcorn. But Justin T bought popcorn. That's like the only thing he's eaten all day so far. And I'm buying it because I assumed that I wouldn't have time to have lunch. So, yeah. So we got popcorn and we're right on freaking time for the movie screening, and also a very beautiful, gorgeous tribute to David Lynch before the film plays. And then afterwards we have a presenter, and then we have a woman who came on stage and sang a song, La Llorando, which was just beautiful. And I'm just thinking, oh my god, Michelle, Justin T, and Jacob must be super confused because they have never really watched a David Lynch film. Michelle had seen Dune and Blue Velvet, but the other two have not completed a David Lynch film, so to them it's like, what the fuck is going on? To me, I'm just like, this is beautiful. And then we watched the film, and it is amazing. I think I like it even more on a second watch. It surprisingly felt like a breeze, like... Inland Empire was such a difficult film that Mulholland Drive felt like a breeze in comparison. It was such an easy watch for me. Yeah, after the film, Michelle was like speechless. She's like, okay, I hate you. I'm gonna slap you. I hate you. No, just no. I asked her, so what do you think? Like from 0 to 10. And she's like, no, just no. And Justin T, I think he loved it, but he's not sure if he's loved it or not. Because I was like, Justin T, so what do you think? He's like, wow, that's fucking crazy. That's crazy. That's so crazy. And he couldn't give any stars on Letterboxd because I guess he's just not used to seeing films like that. That's the thing. It's like, I don't know why Mulholland Drive is such an accessible film for me, because I can just switch into... Like, when I enjoy a film, if the right conditions are met, I can just switch to a mode where I don't care if nothing makes sense. But for some people, for most people, it's like, okay, this and then that and this and that, like, it all has to make sense. But for me, it doesn't make sense, and it's fine, because I don't view movies for the sake of making sense. I watch movies because they're movies. They're moving images with sound. So I'm looking for something different. I went into this film with a Lynchian mindset, and I ended up loving it 100%. So yeah, it was great. Everyone was super confused, and they were asking me, like, can you explain it? And I'm like, yeah. So we went over to Michelle's car, and we drove back to the USC Village. So yesterday, when I was discussing with Michelle the plan for today, Michelle was like, I don't know, I have something to do, so I don't think I can take you guys back to USC. But then I'm like, what's that thing? And then she's like, hanging out with you, or something like that. She's like, what? But I thought we're gonna hang out. And I'm like, what? So I'm like, well, drive us back to USC and I'll buy you matcha. For some reason, Michelle's hell-bent on me buying her matcha. But instead, everyone's a little bit hungry, so we went to a restaurant called Fix Corner, which is near the Ono Hawaiian BBQ place near Gateway. and I haven't tried it. Apparently, it's a hot pot restaurant, but it's like mini hot pot. So it's like a giant pot of food, and it's already like boiling. The soup is already boiling and everything. So we ordered a bunch of food. Like Jacob ordered a bunch of food, and I've never been. I didn't even plan to go out and eat. I thought I would just go home, make myself a sandwich, and then bounce. But no, we sat down and ate and everything, which is great. It's an unexpected surprise. And it was a very good meal, and I was quite full. We had rice, sort of like fatty beef soup thing, and just more meat, like quail eggs on a skewer, like beef, chicken wings, chicken cartilage. Michelle was super confused when she had chicken cartilage, and then we talked, and we had a very good conversation actually. Michelle's actually a really, like, she's not awkward like me. She's definitely an extrovert. So, yeah, we just talked. And we talked, and I was like, yeah, at 8 p.m. I got a Zoom meeting with HKOS. So I just went to the Zoom app on my phone and just had the Zoom meeting on my phone. And the Zoom meeting went on for like 20 or 30 minutes. And I didn't say much. I was mute and my video was off. There were like 6 other people in the meeting, including Kay and also Nathan and like some other random people that I've probably seen before. And we're just discussing like what's the plan for the film festival. And some interesting things are being said. Some things are cooking. Like I'm putting my phone next to my ear, like this ear, while another conversation is had outside. So it's kind of funny. But yeah, we were just discussing, and at some point Kay was like, so what movie should we screen? And I'm like, Made in Hong Kong, because I love that movie. I love Made in Hong Kong. And she's like, oh, we already screened that the first film festival. And I'm like, oh, okay. Which I completely didn't know. Did we? And then somebody mentioned, because like in HKIFF, the spotlight person is Louis Koo. And we could play Throwdown, which is on Criterion. We can ask screening rights from Criterion, which would usually be a yes, and it usually isn't that complicated, just a bit expensive. And I thought, well, might as well do Johnny To retrospective. And I think Kay liked that idea. Yeah, let's do Johnny To, because if we do like an Stanley Kwan retrospective, I think no one will show up. But like Johnny To is more popular. So I think Johnny To would work, actually. And yeah, I think the goal for this film festival is really to make as much money as possible. So let's not even care about screening good films. Let's screen popular films. All we need to do is attract people and get paid. So yeah, and we're just throwing movie ideas out, like a bunch of recent films. I also mentioned a film, it's called Valley of the Death with Anthony Wong. I saw the trailer for that a couple months ago. I was really surprised. I put down the name of the film in the group chat, and apparently no one has heard of it. And Kay was like, oh, it's interesting, but I've never heard of it. It's not even out yet. But I saw the trailer and I was like, yeah, this shit is so interesting. So yeah, there's that. And then, yeah, we talked about like finding locations. Apparently Kay teaches, I guess this is like doxing, but it's also not. But it kind of is, but also not. She teaches at Evelyn's school, as it turns out, which is Cal State Dominguez Hills. And she's at the Asian Pacific Islander department, and she wants to rent out the theater there for free in the name of the school, in the name of the program. So she could screen documentaries there. And then I went outside of the restaurant just so that I could unmute myself, and I said, oh, my friend told me there's a place in Chinatown called Now Instant, and Kay was like, oh yeah, we asked them last year, and it's too small, and it's also pricey. And I'm like, okay. So I was gonna like come up with a lot of ideas. Why not screen here, screen there? I was even thinking Westwood, and then Kay casually mentioned, oh yeah, we tried Westwood last year, too expensive. But it's worth the risk, maybe? somebody else pointed out, maybe it's worth the risk. It'll be a deficit in terms of money, but maybe a lot of people will show up, and maybe it's a good idea in the long run. I don't know, but more can be discussed. So at the end, we all said goodbye, and Kay wants to talk to me more tomorrow morning. I can't believe I'm the director. Like, I'm supposed to be the director of the festival, or like the chief of something. I literally showed up playing a Zoom meeting on my phone and like throwing out silly ideas. I'm not well equipped at all to do this. So like, for management stuff, I don't think I can handle it. But like, if you want me to go outside and present and talk about films, I can definitely do that. That's my domain. But Johnny To retrospective, if we actually do a Johnny To retrospective for the HKOS Film Festival, I will be the one responsible. I would be the one saying, yeah, it was my idea to screen Johnny To films, and we better screen at least 3 films this time. Okay? I'm talking The Mission. I'm talking The Mission. I'm talking PTU. And I'm talking Throwdown. And I'll add Heroic Trio in there, because that's also Criterion. And Executioners, but that's too much money. But I think screening The Mission is of the utmost importance, because it's not available on Blu-ray at all, anywhere. Ooh, that's exciting, yeah. So, yeah, we'll see, and hopefully I get to, like, talk to filmmakers and make friends. That's the whole point, really. So, we finished the meal at around 8:45, which is crazy. We just sat in that restaurant for like 2 hours or something, or more than that. And then, well, might as well directly go to Troy East and directly visit Christian R. So, that's what I'm doing. So, Michelle drove me, Justin T, and Jacob to Troy Hall, and they brought me to Troy East, and I just stood there for a bit, and then Christian R showed up, and then Christian R brought me to his apartment. It's my third day in a row seeing Christian R. It's crazy. And Alice is already in there, and then Alexis showed up a couple minutes later. But yeah, everyone's just like unpacking things from cardboard boxes, just one prop after another. Some props are from they're from a prop house called Eco Prop House, and it's super hidden and sketchy, and Christian had to put those props on a giant bag, on 3 bags, while skating back home. It's so crazy. But yeah, there's a lot of props just laid out on the ground, and I'm like, yeah, there needs to be organization. The thing is, I've never done art directing. Again, it's like same with the HKOS Film Festival thing. It's like, I'm not even sure if I'm well equipped for this, but I gotta start somewhere. So, I'm like, well, first of all, let's be tidy about this. So I used Christian R's computer, which is literally in the living room, and I just like, went through the Google spreadsheet and made adjustments and everything. And just like asked Christian R, do you have this? Do you have that? But I feel like no one else really cares. Like for Christian R, it's all in his head. For the other 2 girls, they're just doing what they can to like, check out the props and like sort them out, etc. And it's just, we have what we have, we label them all, we bring them to set, and then we bring them back or whatever. Or throw them away. Like, that's the best plan. So maybe at some point I'll just give up trying to be organizational, because what I would like to do is to literally catalog every single piece of prop that we have, so that when we go, I know which stuff are we bringing, and I know which stuff are we bringing back. Who are we gonna like return them to, etc., etc. But yeah. So yeah, fuck. I don't know. So but yeah, it's crazy. I just talked a lot with Justin T and Jacob, and then I have this, and then the 2 girls left, and then I'm also hearing Alexis and Alice speak to each other in Korean for the first time, which is like reassuring. I also like Christian R has like Japanese keyboard, and I accidentally type in Japanese. But yeah. After the two girls left, Christian R left behind. I stayed behind, and Christian R and I went through the budget a little bit for like half an hour, and then at around 11:15 I left, came back home, showered, and yes, I'm done. I'm so done. I'm busy. I'm tired. I want to sleep all day tomorrow, but that might not actually even happen because Kay wants to call me tomorrow. I told her, how about Tuesday? Because I want to just sleep tomorrow. Also, I'm even more worried about my 290 project might remain in light because I don't have the location yet. I want a dorm, and also I want lights. I spoke with Ethan Kwan about lights, and I asked him, and don't want to bother him because we're not even that close, but I was like, hey, do you think I can also borrow some lights? And he's like, yeah, all I have is tube light, and I don't know anyone who borrows lights for free. And you're not even supposed to use lights for Project 1, which I didn't even know. And he's like, yeah, my advice is just use available light, which is terrible because the climax of my short film is so lighting heavy, and right now I'm worried that I can't even do that scene, and I either have to rewrite the ending or change it or find some silly compromise, which would ruin the whole thing. Might as well scrap the whole short film. Might as well not film the whole thing at all. I know I'm being dramatic, but like, I'm serious about this. So I really don't know. I'm asking Ethan if I could borrow the tube light anyways and see what I can do. I only need lights for 2 scenes. One is the ending where they're flashing lights, which is going to be really tough. I don't realize how lucky I was last year when I filmed The World Is Not Enough, when I just casually borrowed a 60-watt light. And it's not so easy here. Even if I can do it, it's going to be very obvious that I'm using a light and I'm not supposed to. The other thing is, a light when Vivian sort of lays against the glass, and I want to do a kind of Wong Kar-wai-esque shot where it's like beautiful, colorful lights, and he's looking at her, she's looking at her reflection, and kind of lonely and sad and melancholic. I can do that with like a simple tube light, something very simple, and color graded to make it look bluish. That could work. The flashing lights is really tough, and I don't know how to pull it off. Worst case scenario, I can ask 2 people to just use their phone flashlights and turn it off and on and off and on and off and on while I put the camera really close to her face. But that would be terrible. If we could use a tube light and program it to like flash, that would be the best. But if it doesn't work, then we would have to like turn the tube light on and off, which would be probably the case here. Unless Ethan Kwan doesn't lend me his tube light, then I guess we're fucked. But yeah, and then I still don't know what to do with the actors. Like, I need more extras. This is, to be honest, 6 minutes, you can film all that shit in one day. Like, cloud busting is 10 minutes long, and I filmed it in 5 hours. I can film my 6-minute thing within a couple hours. It's supposed to be really easy. I just made it extremely tough with like a lot of makeup, lots of costume changes and everything. And yeah, I'm gonna have a phone call with Vivian tomorrow night. We're not even that close. I've met her 4 times only. Like, I'd really prefer it if the people I work with are all friends with me and everything, but unfortunately the world doesn't work like that. The only time it worked like that was Objects in Mirror, where I'm already friends with everyone on set, and that was lovely because I think every other set I've been in and I'm going to do for my own film is like, I'm not that close with anyone. The one good thing with USC is that I only know them because I already knew them. Unlike in Hong Kong, I have to get some stranger to help me, you know? But at least in The World Is Not Enough, I was way more flexible. So, I don't fucking know, man. I don't fucking know. But I hope it is at least a rewarding, like, filming process. Yeah, and then I DM'd Jiayun, I said, yo, I'm gonna do it. No response. I said, hey again, still no response. She's gonna take another 19 business days to... I should just text her. Honestly, I feel like she looks at texts more than Instagram DMs, which makes sense. But yeah, what a silly girl. What a silly freaking girl. Yeah, I don't have much else to add, really. I'm not as stressed out as I was last week. I think last week I was ultra stressed. But now I'm a little bit chilled and I'm a bit more focused. I'd like to think that history is repeating itself. Form 1 is round 1. Form 2 is round 2 and 3. Form 3 is like 2024. And now I'm in Form 4, where... in Form 4, I'm like hateful and lonely and I have no friends and I'm at the bottom of the barrel. Sometimes I think I am that. But I truly am not. When people like Christian R is texting me and I'm about to be the director for the next HKOS Film Festival, and, you know, those two things alone are already indication that I'm somewhere in the ecosystem. Yeah. But yeah, I saw Mulholland Drive and I loved it, and Michelle's like, wow, I'm seeing a new layer of you that I've never seen before. And I'm just thinking, what the fuck do you mean? I've always loved nonsensical, disturbing, weird things, like, and you've always known that. But I like that I give off this kind of impression, and I wish people would see me that way. Mysterious, edgy guy. But I'm also nice. I'm also nice and soft, but I'm also edgy and mysterious and angry, and yeah. And I hope these short films show the world who I am. Oh yeah, when I took a free lift back home from Christian R's place from Troy East, the guy is talking to me. It's like this white guy with facial hair and well-spoken. He's like, oh, popcorn. Is it movie or football? And I'm like, movie. And he's like, what movie? And I'm like, oh, it's a movie called Mulholland Drive. And he's like, oh, David Lynch. He's a very interesting director. I cannot get into him because he's too surreal. And then he starts talking about how he doesn't like films that are too surreal and doesn't make sense, which is like opposite for me. I love films that are too surreal. And he's like, well, a lot of people just make movies and call it visual poetry, and it's just a bunch of interesting images and they don't mean anything because there's no story. I prefer a story. I prefer things that make sense. And I'm just like, well, it just depends on the director's intention. Like, I defended myself. And he's like, oh, I didn't like 2001: A Space Odyssey because, like, I like the conversation between Dave and Hal, and I like the visual effects, but when he enters a monolith, it lost me. And in my head, I'm thinking that's the best part of the film, is the Stargate sequence. And I just told him, like, it doesn't have to make sense. It's just an experience. And I know that's like, I realize that normal people don't comprehend movies like that. Like, normal, average, everyday person has to have some kind of story in a film. But I've already come to a point where if a film doesn't have a story, I'm looking for an experience. And sometimes the experience is more important than the story. Because if I want a story, I might as well read a book. Movies are moving images and sound. Story isn't part of its job description. I don't know who said it, because no one said it. That movies have to have story. You don't. You just need feelings. And that's okay. But it's like something a lot of people cannot look past. Like, a lot of people are like, if a film doesn't have a coherent story, then what's the point? Then I will have to ask, if a film has to have a story, then what's the point? But yeah, it's, I'm gonna make commercial films, but I would love to make artsy, nonsensical movies later down the road in my career. Kind of like Picasso, just making his art more and more abstract later down. Because if everyone else is already making photorealistic portraits, then what's the fucking point? Make something unique, you know?